Welcome everyone. Welcome to God English. Are you ready to interview? Today we are going to practice some more questions. Today we're going to talk about an amendment and a Bill of Rights. So let's move along. But before we continue, I want to welcome back Julieta, Gustavo, Lulis, Ermi, Clara, and any new people on board. Welcome to class. So again, I'm going to be talking about the amendments. What are the amendments? What is a Bill of Rights, or what are the Bill of Rights? Before we move along, I want to say that the Bill of Rights was ratified or accepted or changed in 1791 by the Founding Fathers. Okay, so what is an amendment? What is an amendment? An amendment is a change to the Constitution. An amendment is a change to the U.S. Constitution, or it is an addition to the Constitution. So what is an amendment? An amendment is a change to the U.S. Constitution or an addition to the Constitution. So how do we go about making those changes? It's not easy. The Founding Fathers wanted to ensure that this was a process. The amendment was a process that many people had to buy into it before changes could be made. And so they had a system to make these changes. And here are some of the ways that amendments were made, changes. As a matter of fact, in history, there have been not all proposed amendments are ratified or changed. 6 times in the U.S. history, amendments have passed the Congress, but were not approved by enough states to be ratified, to be made to make changes. So making changes to the Constitution, making amendments, it is a complex process. It's not easy to make those changes. How are the changes made? Changes are made in the House of Representatives and the Senate. Congress has to 2/3 of votes have to pass in the Congress, in this House, in the Senate, and in the House of Representatives. And then also a special convention of 2/3 of states of the United States have to ratify it by at least 3/4 of the states for any changes to be made. So representatives, 2/3 of the states have to pass it and accept it by 3/4 of the states. Okay, so how are changes made to the United States? 2/3 votes in the Senate and the House of Representatives have to pass in Congress, or a special convention has to take place. It has to be ratified by 3/4 of all of the states, and not all the proposed amendments are ratified. Okay, moving along. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? This is an important question in your civic questions, and one of the questions that you might be asked in your citizenship interview. So what do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? It is called the Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights? Why do they call it Bill of Rights? They could have called it the Bill of Freedom, or the Bill of Freedom, yeah, but they call it the Bill of Rights. Interesting that they call it the Bill of Rights instead of the Bill of Freedoms or Freedom. Moving along, why do we have the Bill of Rights? What's the purpose of the Bill of Rights, or the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? The answer is the Bill of Rights protects all Americans and people living in the United States. It protects all Americans and also people living in the United States. So it's for all people in the United States, in other words. Next, what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? This is a very common one that we need to know, and because people talk about it a lot, and this could be a question that you might be asked in your interview. So let's do it. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? And we need to talk about it as the freedom to have speech, the freedom for religion, to practice your religion or not practice a religion, the freedom to get together, to demonstrate, to assemble, uh, the freedom of press, uh, and the petition to the government. These are all components of the First Amendment: the freedom of speech, religion, to practice religion, not practice religion, freedom to assemble, to meet with others, to demonstrate, freedom of press, speech, petitioning the government. Those are all parts of the First Amendment and well known, and a lot of people will talk about it. It could very well be one of your questions during the interview. Moving along, the other components to the 10 amendments, or the other 9 amendments of the Bill of Rights, or the first 10 amendments, the other 9 ones would be, and a lot of people, or you'll hear it in the news, the right to bear arms, the right to bear arms, to have guns, arms, armas in Spanish, the right to bear arms, to have guns, to own a gun with permission, of course. Freedom from search without a warrant. That means if a cop or a police officer wants to come to your house, they need to have a warrant so that they can enter legally into your house. Okay, so the right to bear arms, the freedom from search without a warrant. Other components to the Bill of Rights are freedom to I'm sorry, I should have made this bigger. So other rights: the right to bear arms, freedom from search without a warrant, freedom to not be tried twice for the same crime, the right to not testify against yourself. I plead the fifth, for example. Some people say I plead the fifth. And here's a little typo there. Sorry, moving along here. Trial by jury. If you are taken to court, you have the right to have a jury of peers of other citizens who will listen to your case and decide whether you are guilty or not. The right to an attorney, the right to not have excessive fines put on you or unusual punishments by the government. And of course, another one, the 10th Amendment, would be powers reserved for the states to make certain decisions without the government in Washington, D.C. imposing. States also have rights. So those are the first 10 amendments, which we also call the Bill of Rights. Okay, moving along. How many amendments does the Constitution have? How many amendments does the Constitution have? It has 27 amendments. It has 27 amendments. So since the Constitution was designed and developed by the Founding Fathers, we've had 27 amendments to the Constitution. And the first 10, as we've spoken before, the first 10 are called the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights. Next. Going back to our previous questions, because this class is designed to practice, to review, practice, and review with you. Let's go over the other questions that we've looked at in the previous recordings. This question is, what is the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land? Or what is the highest law of the land? And the answer is the Constitution. The Constitution. What is the supreme law of the land? The answer is the Constitution. By now, I'm hoping that you're getting this and that you can answer this before I'm even done, and that you can write the answer correctly with the capital and maybe a period here. The Constitution. Okay? So what is the supreme law of the land? And your answer is the Constitution. Okay, another review question is, what does the Constitution do? What does the Constitution do? Why do we have a Constitution? The answer is It sets up the government. It defines what kind of government we have, defines the government. And 3, protects the basic rights of all Americans. So what does the Constitution do, or why do we have a Constitution? It sets up the government. It defines the government. It protects the basic rights of Americans. So your answer would be sets up the government, defines the government, and protects the basic rights of Americans. Next question to review again. Last recording that I sent, that I recorded last week, was about the 3 branches of government. This question I added, and I added a specific example here, a graph here to explain, to show you the 3 different branches of government: the legislative, the executive, and judiciary branch. And when I was talking about federalism, I wanted to explain how our government is divided into 3 different branches, so that the balance of government is balanced, that no one segment of the government would have all the power, like the president, the executive branch. He or she, hopefully she in the future, will not have all the power, but that the power is divided into 3 branches, and so that we have a system of check and balance. So federalism is dividing the powers between the national government and the 50 states of the United States. Dividing the power between the national government in Washington, D.C., and the 50 states. So going back to our previous question, what are the 3 branches of government? The 3 branches of government are the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judiciary branch. The legislative branch, they make laws. And those, the people in the legislative branch are our House of Representatives, the people in the House, and the people in the Senate. Another name for these guys is the Congress. Congress is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate. And their job is to look at bills, bring bills to the House, look at it, research it, and decide whether they will approve it. And if the bill is approved, then it becomes a law. And of course, they ratify, they accept the laws and work on it. And if it goes through, then it's sent to the executive branch. And now we're talking about the president. President, he's the police officer. He enforces the law. President is also the commander-in-chief. He's the leader of the military. He also appoints ambassadors to work on different projects. He is the head of the country, and most of all, he's known as commander-in-chief and leader of the military. And his main job is to make sure that we follow the laws. Moving along to the 3rd branch. Third branch is the judiciary branch. That has to do with the Supreme Court and our 9 justices in the Supreme Court. And their job is to interpret the law, to ensure that we are following the laws and that the laws are accurate and that it's fair and it's legal and that it's the laws are supporting and benefiting the rights of all Americans. They are the ones who read it. They're the ones who check, make sure that it's okay and it's legal. Moving along, we also talked about the idea of self-government. What are the 3 words in the Constitution that express the idea that we are self-governing, that we have a self-government? And the 3 words in our Constitution what are the 3 words? The answer is we the people. We the people. We the people. We the people of the United States to form a more perfect union. We the people. We representative democracy. We have a representative democracy. We the people. We the people, in order to have a good government, a perfect union, We the people. This is how we self-govern ourselves. So the idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. And the 3 words are, we the people. We the people. Okay. Moving along. So we practice our dictation. Why do we practice our dictation? The idea is that you will be asked a question and you're comfortable writing three answers correctly. You've got to have one right, but why not work and try to get all 3 correct to impress the naturalization officer? He or she will be pleased, happy that you can write your answers correctly and that you know the answers and that you can do it and that you're ready to become a citizen and that you'll know the history of this country. You'll impress them. I think it's a great thing to do. So again, our dictation is practicing our answers, writing it correctly. So number 1, what is the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land? And let's do it quickly. What is the supreme law of the land? The answer, the Constitution. The Constitution. The Constitution. What is the supreme law of the land? Answer, the Constitution. Next. What does the Constitution do? Let's read it fast. What does the Constitution do? Slowly. What does the Constitution do? What does the Constitution do? Answer, sets up the government. Sets up the government. Sets up the government. Sets up the government. Defines the government. Defines the government. Defines the government. Protects the basic rights of Americans. Protects the basic rights of Americans. What does the Constitution do? Sets up the government, defines the government, protects the basic rights of Americans. Next. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? We the people. Answer, we the people. So the idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. And the 3 words are, we the people. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these 3 words? We the people. Next. What is the form of government of the United States? What form of government do we have in the United States? Or what is the form of government of the United States? What is the form of government of the United States? What is the form of government of the United States? And the answer is, again, remember, it has 3 components. It is a republic, government for the people, by the people. It's constitution-based federal republic. It is constitution-based federal republic where Washington, D.C. has a government set up there, but the states also have power to help make decisions. And it is also a representative democracy. A representative democracy where the people choose their leaders, send their leaders to Washington, D.C. to represent us, and they make decisions on our behalf. But we elect them. We choose our representatives who go to Washington, D.C. to work in Congress and the House of Representatives and in the Senate. We also elect our president. Okay? So 3 parts. It is a republic, constitution-based federal republic, and it is a representative democracy. Okay, what is an amendment? That's our question for today. This is in today's recording. What is an amendment? It is a change to the U.S. Constitution. It is a change to the U.S. Constitution. What is an amendment? It is a change to the U.S. Constitution. It is an addition to the Constitution. It is a change to the Constitution, and it is an addition to the Constitution. So amendment is a change or an addition to the Constitution. Alrighty, next. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? It is called the Bill of Rights. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? It is called the Bill of Rights. It is called the Bill of Rights. Next. What is one right of freedom from the First Amendment? What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? It is speech, religion or no religion, assembly, to get together to demonstrate peacefully, freedom of press, and the petitioning to the government, to petition the government. It is speech, religion, assembly, press, petition the government. So what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? It is speech, religion, assembly, press, or petition the government. Moving along. How many amendments does the Constitution have? How many amendments does the Constitution have? It has 27 amendments. How many amendments does the Constitution have? It has 27 amendments. How many amendments does the Constitution have? It has 27 amendments. Okay, before we finalize this recording, this video, remember, practice is key. Practice, practice. Let's practice the questions. Let's practice the answers. Let's practice the grammar. Practice is the key to passing your citizenship test the first time you take it. Practice is key. Practice, practice. Let's do it. And last but not least, again, this class has got English. Let's get ready for citizenship. Please recommend it to your friends. Together we can do it. Together we can. Welcome again. And don't forget to subscribe. See you next week. Goodbye. Bye-bye.